Hi all, welcome back to my channel and thanks a lot for showing all the support for the previous video of QR code. Thank you very much. For those who haven't checked it, I put that link in the description. Please do check it. Okay, so in today's video, we are gonna see the difference and the similarities between Vue and Livewire. So first, I'm gonna make the project with Livewire, and then in the next video I'm going to use Vue. So I'm going to make a to-do list or a to-do app, which is very famous example, so or a very common famous example. So I'm just going to use that, and first I'm going to do it in Livewire and then in Vue.js. So without further ado, let's begin. So to begin with, I've already installed my Laravel project and already made all those configurations, which are just like env configuration of database and everything. So I'll straight away jump into the main topic. So those who are new for Livewire is actually nothing but if you want to have some reactivity in your project, and if you're not JavaScript fan, or if you don't like JavaScript, or if you find backend development very comfortable, then Livewire is a good option for you. It takes care of all the, so under the hood there are Ajax requests, and it takes care of all the Ajax requests for you. All you need to do is just focus on the backend development, and as it's nothing but the Laravel, one of the Laravel feature only. So if you're comfortable with Laravel, that's the very, it's really a very good thing to go. So let's check the docs. To install, all you need to do is just have composer require livewire. So I'll just do that quickly over here. Just install Livewire. It will take a bit of time, and once it's done, then all you need to do is just make a component, a Livewire component, and every Livewire component has a controller file with it. Okay, so how you do it? So all you need to do is php artisan make Livewire and the name of the component. So I'm going to say to do component. Okay. Maybe I'll just for now skip this. Cool. So as you could see, it made a blade file of to do component. So this would be our front end, and the controller file to handle the backend. So if now VS Code, so this is like the general Laravel project once you install it. But here, if you go under resources, views, you will see a Livewire folder is created after making the component. So inside that, you will see the to do component .blade.php. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will remove this. So everything, I'll just remove it, and here this is also not needed, and yeah, okay, Google Fonts, and maybe I'm just gonna use Bootstrap. So quickly going to the Bootstrap, here I'm gonna use Bootstrap 5. So I'll just quickly copy the CDN file. So script and link CSS tag. Cool. So if to use this component, so if I open this file now, you can see it's really like a Vue or React component, that you have one parent div or one parent element, and inside that you have all the children's. So here all your, so one component is as good as saying, like in our to do thing, I'm gonna make two different components. One component will be a form, and other component will be the list of to dos. Okay, so if I say here, this is my component, and to include in my blade file, all I have to do is just use @livewire and name of the component. So the name of the component is to do component. So to do, sorry, component. Cool. So if we just go again over here into project, if we refresh it, as you can see, this is my component. So we have successfully used the component in our blade file. Now to begin, first we need to create the database migration. So let's do it quickly. So let's go to database migrations. Oh, no new file, I need to create one. So PHP artisan make migration, say to do table, create to do table, name of the table. Cool. So if I go here now, let's quickly add the columns. So let's migrate this quickly. So I'll say PHP artisan migrate. Cool. So everything is migrated well. Now next thing to do is create another component, which will be, so this is gonna be the list of components, and list of to-dos, and the next would be the form component. So before creating the list, actually I should have created form, sorry for that. I'll just create first the form component. So going back again here, I would say PHP artisan make, again Livewire, and to do form component. You could see, like in the previous one, I use capital letter and small, more like Pascal case, so that turns out to be the kebab case. But in this case I am just using like small letters. So if I do that, here you could see like it's as it is. So if you're this is somewhat similar to Vue. Like if you're using Pascal case, that you have to use the component name in kebab case or something like that. And so if you see, like it's very similar with Vue. So let's go here to the form. So I'm gonna use bootstrap form. So let's quickly go to bootstrap components, and let's go to form. Yes, it's here, forms, and let's take a simple form from here. This one, yeah, this should be okay. So I'll just take this, copy, and let's go here and paste. And I want this form component just above the list component. So I would say @livewire to do form component. And to take care of, as I said at the start, to take care of the reactivity of sending Ajax request at the back end, like under the hood, and just fetch the things to make Livewire do all those stuffs, all we need to do is here need to include a directive Livewire scripts. You could find this in here in Livewire. You could see like this one, Livewire scripts. This takes care of all the JavaScript, while the stylings are for generally, like if you're having any assets, if you're using any Livewire assets, then this is very useful. So I'll just take this as well. I'll put it here. Generally, like there are animations in Livewire as well, so I guess it has to relate with something like that, but this is more important, Livewire scripts. So let's save this and see how it looks. So here, just a second, I guess, to do I didn't save this. So let's save this and let's refresh again. Cool. So we have a form, not a good form, so let's make it like a container kind of thing. So here I would just say class container fluid, and then let's see, hopefully, yeah, so it has certain, like, it's a bit shrinked inside and has some padding and margin at the side. You can further do it, like giving it a width, so I would say T block and display block and margin auto, and I will give width of maybe 60%. 60% should be good. See, cool. So we have this form. Now let's remove the email and let's replace this with description, this with status, and a deadline option as well. So let's go here and let's make this as description. So this should be text. Let's remove this. This is not required. And let's make a description. And let's have some space so you can see it properly. And here this would be, let's copy paste this because just need description and actually not deadline. Yeah, just the deadline. We don't need status because status will be automatic. So deadline, and let's have it like date time, and this should be local date time. So sorry, made a mistake, sorry. Date time local, because modern browsers, they don't consider date time. You need to put like date time hyphen local. And let's remove this as well. ID is not required. Okay, and here it would be nothing, so blank. And we will need a button, so let's have div dot text center, and inside that let's have a button. So btn dot the button would be primary, px of 4 and py of 2, font weight bold, and it should be create. Okay, so we have if we look quickly, so we have something over here, not very best, but something to show the difference. So let's now connect this with the variables and with the event. So and so to do form component, and if I go to app http livewire to do form component.php, so here first thing I need to do, I need to use the variables. So same like in view, you have data property, and inside that you declare variable. Here you do it like in typical PHP fashion or Laravel fashion. So there will be public, so variable needs to be public so that you can use it in the view. If it's protected, you cannot use it. So let's have description and $deadline. So we have these two variables, and next thing we will need is, so let's have public function and say add to do, and here we will just create a to do. I also didn't created a model for our to do component, sorry, to do table. So let's quickly do that. PHP artisan make model to do. So the model is created under models table. Let's quickly add our protected $table and the name of the table, which is to do table. Should be great. And let's go back again here and say create. So to create it, we will just say to do create, and first we need to create to do object. To do is equal to new to do, and let's import this. Okay, let's say dollar to do description is equal to, now this description would be this one, so I would say dollar this dot description. Same like in Vue, that if you want to use the variable, you use this. Same in Livewire, you use this this pointer to use the public variables that you have declared before. We will need a deadline, so to do deadline is equal to dollar this deadline. And last but not the least, we will need the status, so to do status is equal to incomplete, so we'll just say false, and then we will save this. To do save, save. Cool. And here we will just bind it in our to do form component. Here this will be binded with the description. So how we'll do it, we'll say wire and model equal to description. For this we will say wire model, and that would be deadline. Okay, so we have binded our description and deadline, and we need to bind the click function with our create. So how we will do it, wire click, sorry for that, and name of the function. So the name of the function over here is add to do, so I'll just say it add to do. Okay, so this looks good. Let's quickly have a run over it, how it works. So let's go to our folder, quickly do a refresh. Let's say description, create video, deadline of say 9, and let's create. Okay, now I'm not sure whether this is being validated or this is being created or something like that. So let's add one extra step of validation and also showing a message that it has been created or not. So table, so the to do is created, but there wasn't any message. So let's quickly add the message and validation. So for validation, if you go inside, if you go in the docs, you'll see there must be something on validation. So actions, installation, rendering components, properties, validation over here. So it's exactly like Laravel validation. You can use all those available validation methods and everything. So how it works is, you need to first have the array of key value pairs, where the key would be the name of the variable and the value would be the list of, it would be either an array or a string with all your rules of validation. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Let's go here to do form, and here let's have the array declare as protected, because we don't want our rules to be displayed at the front end. So we'll say protected rules, and here the first one would be description. So I'll keep it very like generic, something like required, and give a regex, regular expression of just some characters, allowed characters. So need this Z to Z numerics, so capital letter, small letter, numbers, space. So if I want to allow space, I can use backslash s. Then even comma is allowed, full stop is allowed, and then what else? Even hyphen is allowed. Okay, that's okay. So, and we have like at least one occurrence or at least one from either of them. So that's why we use plus. If it's star, then it's 0 or more occurrence of that. Okay, then next we will need deadline. This is nothing but it's the deadline, like a simple deadline of date and time. So we need to validate with date and time. So here we will use required and Laravel's available method of date format, and it's generally, in my case, it's going to be year, month, date, and then there will be T for time, and then time in hour and minute. Okay, so once this is done, I need to validate this before I jump from this step. Like before this step, it should be validated. Once it's validated, then it should go step by step to adding it to the database. So let's see this, and then I'll simply call the validate function, which is like an inbuilt Livewire function. Also, like it's somewhat similar to Laravel's validate, and you do request validate. Here you do this validate. Then on the front end, I need to display errors. So displaying errors is again very simple and exactly similar like Laravel's displaying error. So here at the below the input, I would just say @errors, and then description, and let me double check, is it error or errors? I guess it's error, but let's have a quick look. Oh, it's error. Okay, sorry for that. So error description, then a span, and then class of alert and alert danger. It's bootstrap class, and then whatever the error message is. So say $message, and let's complete this span, and then enter it and error. Simple. Let's do it same for deadline. So here let's put it here, and let's do deadline. If everything is created successfully, then what we are going to do, we are going to just show message over here somewhere that to do is added successfully. So let's do that. I would just say @if, like Laravel's if, and then I would just take a success message, success variable, success, @end if. If it's successful, then all I need is just div.alert success to do created successfully, and here I'll just have a break, br, and let's now add this in our to do form component. So to do form component $success, and here by when it's rendered, let's make $this success as false. Actually it should be false over here. because on every Ajax request it will be rendered, and even if it gets true here, it will be false again. So I'll just get this dot success equal to true. Okay, let's have a quick look. So again, let's have a quick refresh. Here I'm gonna say first we'll create some error, so I'm gonna use ambersands, which are not allowed characters, and just let's keep it blank. So you could see like the description format is invalid, the deadline field is required, so all real-time errors without a page refresh. Now let's quickly change this. Sorry for the formatting, like the errors are getting overlapped with the input, so I'll just quickly refresh over here. Okay, now let's do like edit video, and let's give a deadline to me being generous of a week. Okay, and then see create, and you could see to do created successfully. Now let's check our database if it's really created. So in our database, if I just refresh it, you could see edit video and it's created successfully. Now let's display the to-dos. Okay, so the display will come below the form. So what I need to do is I just need to go in over here, to do form, and sorry, the to do component here I need to display those. So again I'm going to use class of container fluid, and let's display them. So table in a tabular format, not table condensed. Okay, and here let's have table head. So the first would be description, then would be deadline, and then we will have status. Cool. And let's also here let's display all the to-dos that we have. So what we need to do, so what we need to do here, we will say $for, then $todos as $to-do, sorry, for each, it would be for each, and direct and for each. Okay, and then we'll just need a row tr, and inside that we'll need td, and simple again Laravel style to do description, and let's just copy paste it this here, and let's do description to be, instead of description we'll say deadline. Here we'll do it status. Okay, and in our to do component, so which will be this one here, we need to declare this variable to do's. So let's do that. So here let's say public $to do's, and before it renders let's get the to do's. So $this dot to do's, say to do get. So let's import class and let's see how it looks. Okay, so we have our to do's list in a tabular format. Now let's try to add it, and let's see if we could, once we add a to do, let's have it added in the list dynamically, because currently if I create a delete old video if I create a to do now, you will see it won't be added because these two are different components. And Livewire, in Livewire, if two components are on one page or in one view file, then they can communicate with each other. So we need to make these two components to communicate with each other. So how we are going to do it? Very simple. We will just use events. So in here, events, if you see, like you can have your customized events. So we will just need to emit an event, and the other component is just going to listen to it with something like this. So we will have again an array. In that array, there will be a key value pair of event name and the function to be done carried out on that event, like once that event happen. Okay, so how we are going to emit the event? So we'll just use this pointer again and have the emit function. So let's do it over here in the to do form component. Sorry, over here, sorry for that, in this. So once create the to do, we need to emit an event. So how we will do it? We'll say this dot emit, and we'll say to do added. Okay, and now we will listen to this event in the other component. So in here we will say protected. Again, we don't want to show listeners in the front end, so we'll keep it protected. Equal to and the listen event and the function we want to carry, render. So that's simple. Now let's give it a try again. So if I go over here, refresh, and now if I say create new video, and here I say maybe by tomorrow, and if I create, you see it's added dynamically at the end. So this is how we use Livewire to have reactivity in our project. So that's the very simple example. So let's have a quick revision before we wrap this up. So first we install Livewire. So we need to use composer require livewire. Once the package is installed, then we create the components. To create the components, we use just like a command php artisan, this one, php artisan make livewire and the name of the component. After firing that command, two files are created. One under Livewire, under views, Livewire folder, the front end file, which is literally the component file, and another one is nothing but the backend file, which is the which you can call it as a controller file or .php file, which takes care of all the backend operations. Okay, so what exactly happens is, in your view file, once you use these two components with this scripts directive, all the front end Ajax requests are taken care by Livewire, so you don't need to dwell much in that, and it takes like your overhead of sending all those Ajax requests back, so at the back end. So whenever you fire an event, or whenever you type anything, or whenever you do anything, for everything you do, there is an Ajax request sent at the back. So let's go with our first component of to do form. So in to do form component, we have our normal bootstrap form. We just use like just binded the variables with wire model over here. So we bind the variable using wire model, and then we just use the error directive to just have the error messages from the backend if there are any, and inside the backend file or the controller file, we declare them as a public variables because we want to use them in the front end, and we then have the validation rules in a protected array, so that they are not shown to the front end. Once we do that, we have a validation. So once we call this function, once this function is fired, the validate function is fired, it goes to this array, picks this array, and then cross checks with the input field. Like all this is taken care by Livewire. So you need to make sure that these keys are exactly same to the value you have, variable name you have used. Then after that, we also connected the button with the add to function with wire click. So you could see like there is wire click and add to do. So this will take care of all those events of like same like views at the red click. So here we have wire click. Okay, then we have the add to do function. It just creates a to do object and just creates a new to do for us. And after we create a new to do, we need to show the message. So we use a success variable. It just shows like if it's false, don't show the message. If it's true, just show the message. Also, we have emitted an event or fired event from our form component, which to the another component saying that hey, the to do is created, render it again. So this we are catching or listening in the other component as again with the protected listener, and every time we render this, we have this to do taken from the database and shown over in the front end. So in the to do component, we just simply use Laravel's PHP format of for each and everything, like iterate for each directive, and just like iterate over all the to dos that we have. So it's very simple and straightforward. So in the next video, we will do the same thing using Vue. I purposely kept this video at a very high level and didn't went into very depth of how the events are fired and how the Ajax request and fired and anything. If you would like to see those, you can always like use the network tab, and like here in your in a browser console, you could always have a network tab, and you could see like all the events fired or all the Ajax requests that Livewire does, you could see over here. So I purposely didn't go in that because there are already nice videos available on YouTube. The main purpose of this is just to show the difference and similarity between Vue and Livewire. So in the next video, we'll do the same thing using Vue. Till then, bye bye.